Alright, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing today on this wonderful Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? It's a Wednesday. What's going on, boys? How you doing? Gravesh, Nils is here, Harman's here, Gravinder, Carson, Yash, Joseph's in here, Mr. Black. What's going on, boys? Hopefully you guys had another good day here. It's decent, pretty boring over here. I'm very tired. But so yesterday, as I told you guys, SPY, with all that movement in stocks, SPY moved a grand total of 1 cent. Today we got the exact opposite. SPY ripped and all the stocks kind of went sideways if you take a look at them. But not really sure. The only reason SPY moved this much is because of financials. Look at financials. They actually, this is the first time in my life that I've seen financials actually go off my screen. My screen was set up like this and they disappeared. So that's definitely the first time that's ever happened in XLF to me. Like I told you guys, the XLF $39 lotto calls went from 4 cents to 20 cents. That's 400% today. So if anyone caught those, congratulations. Other than that, I mean, we just got a big rip on XLF beginning of the day and then just consolidated the rest of the day. This is healthy action. Like I explained to you guys yesterday, as long as we stay in this range, this is very healthy action on XLF. The range is between 39 and 38. If we break over 39, that gives us all-time highs. Today we actually rejected from 38.92 and the all-time high is 38.95. So we got almost a triple top here. So keep an eye on financials. If they don't get through 38.95 this week, it could reverse and set up a higher low, or we could even go test these previous lows right here. So keep an eye on that level right there, 38.95 and then 39 psychological level. Of course, I will do PDD, bro. I'm in PDD heavy. I will do PDD. You see the next chart, bro? What's going on, Sean? How you doing, Papa Ganush? Nikunj is in here. Who else is in here? Mo, of course. Stongshan's asked me about PDD when I'm obviously going to do PDD. But yeah, so IWM and XLF were the leaders today. They led the market up higher. That's why SPY was higher, even though QQQ was just range bound all day. I mean, look at QQQ. We opened at 375.09. We closed today at 374.57. So like about 40-cent move there on QQQ all day, even though all that volatility. Whereas SPY just went straight up, consolidated the rest of the day. IWM straight up, consolidated the rest of the day. XLF straight up, consolidated the rest of the day. Overall, bigger picture, let's get rid of these lines now. We're still in the middle of that channel. It's kind of like no man's land here. Give me a second. No real direction here. So what I do every morning, I told you guys, I draw lines, horizontal lines at the moving averages and at the all-time highs just for my support and resistances. Other than that, I mean, we're still in an uptrend. We're still going higher. We make all-time highs every single day. Volume is falling off, which is kind of bad. But, I mean, it is summertime. There's not that many traders during summertime. A lot of people go on vacations, etc. Summertime volume falls off, and that's what you're seeing right here. But one thing that's very bullish is when a stock is moving up even though there's low volume. So, take from that whatever you want. This is called Volatility Contraction. It's just, it keeps going higher on lower volume. So we're going to keep watching that. And let's see if we can just keep making all-time highs. I mean, nothing is overbought here on the daily. There's no red flags here at all for me. There's not much volume to stop us up here. Obviously, all-time highs is blue sky breakout. So let's see what happens. QQQ on the longer-term time frame. Again, all-time highs. This candle is kind of worrying, but we had this exact same candle on SPY yesterday, so we just broke to all-time highs. As long as we hold this previous all-time high of 369.91, so you could say 370 psychological number. As long as we hold 370 on a pullback on QQQ, everything is healthy. Everything is in an uptrend, so everything all-time highs, QQQ all-time highs. IWM is not at all-time highs, it's a laggard. So this one has the most potential to go up, which is small caps, which I've been calling out so many times. Today we rejected the 50-day hard, it looks like. Where did we close? 222.60. So we actually closed above the 50-day by 9 cents today. That's very, very bullish, actually. So we're above all the moving averages. All the moving averages are beginning to get back. If we get the 8 and 21-day back above the 50-day, that's a very bullish sign. So let's see if we get follow through on IWM tomorrow. Because we closed above the 50-day, it's past the resistance. Next resistance for the IWM is not too far away, though. It's at 225, so we have another $3 move possible. especially because we closed above the 50-day. It makes me very bullish on small caps. PDD. So yesterday, this is what you guys have to realize. When you're in a play, like PDD, for example, and you ask me about it every 10 seconds, why am I in PDD? First of all, China is super strong the last 2 days. Second of all, PDD destroyed their earnings yesterday and went up 22%. Look at this, 22.25% yesterday on PDD. If a stock moves 22%, it needs some rest. And look, this is the healthiest form of rest you can have on a stock. It just completely went sideways all day. There was no downtick at all. We opened up, let me show you guys, the 15-minute chart here. So obviously yesterday we ran 22%, August 24th. August 25th we opened in this range, and the first 15-minute candle basically gave us our whole range for the day. The first 15-minute candle, 98.69 was the high. We never broke that high. Okay, first 15-minute candle, 95.87 was the low, and we never broke that low. So the first 15-minute candle of the day on PDD just signaled the high and the low. We just continued to go in an equilibrium after that. So now we need a break, and the only numbers that matter tomorrow morning on PDD is either a 90, the first 15-minute candle, that's all you have to watch, is 98.69 break takes us up, and a 95.87 break takes us down. So those are the only two numbers that matter for tomorrow, just because I'm in lottos. If you're in farther out plays, this looks absolutely fantastic for follow through. Even if it takes 3 or 4 more days to rip, it looks like it really wants to rip, especially if China stays up. Jumia, definitely the play of the day. Called these $19 calls out yesterday for 26 cents or the day before for 26 cents. I don't remember. Absolute ripper today. They had some news today that didn't hit the mainstream news. It was actually they're giving loans to people in Africa, or banks in Africa. So I guess the market interpreted that really good. It looks like we bottomed here, and we closed above the 21-day. 2016 is a 21-day moving average, and we closed at 2034. So closed above the 20-day moving average. Everything's bullish. Looks like the bottom's in. Huge uptick in bull volume. Next level up is 2367, which is the 50-day moving average, so keep an eye on that if you're still in. ZM still looks like dirt, but again, we took September 10th calls for a reason. There's earnings next week. People are going to figure out that there's earnings next week sooner or later. The market maker is going to pump premium into these calls, whether he wants to or not. Still looks like a head and shoulders forming on this previous resistance, but we need to form that shoulder. Right now, this looks healthier than if we just went straight up. It's healthy consolidation, bear volume's lower than the bull volume that we bounced off the resistance with. So everything looks decent in ZM. We just have to be patient with this play. Let's see when it pops, and when it does pop, you know how fast Zoom moves. Like you guys seen it right here. We went all the way from 348 all the way to 404. So we can get a big move. Let's just wait for it. Be patient. We have 2.5 weeks left on these calls. And they're not even losing premium. They're sitting right around 215, 220 where we bought them. So not worried about Zoom at all. Twitter, ugly morning. So yesterday our high was 65.02. I really wanted to break the 65.02 right in the morning. But what did we get? We got a huge gap down. Huge gap down, seen some huge call flows come in. Someone put $1.14 million. Shut up, Coleman! Put in $1.14 million into November calls for Twitter. And right after he put in that order, just ripped up all day, closed above 64, so everything looks good on the longer time frames on Twitter again. Remember, this play was based on this weekly inverse head and shoulders. So maybe I should have took more time like T did, but I figured we'd get a quick move this week, just because that April 5th week I told you guys about already. Got 3 up days and 2 consolidation days. Let's see if we can get follow through tomorrow. If we get follow through tomorrow, the first level is yesterday's high of 65.06. The second level is 65.18, which is a 21-day moving average. Let's see if we can cross through those. And other than that, Twitter, I'm not too worried about. We need a gap up tomorrow, though, to save those calls, because a lot of those, the premium goes down very quickly. Tesla, took some degen calls, hit 720. So I hit the 720 calls twice. I made very nice profits. I took 1/4 of those profits, and I threw it in a degen play called 750 Tesla Lotto for this Friday. And what happened... all we're looking for on Tesla is all it needs to do is hold above 707 and go to 726. 725.50, 726 level, if it gets through there, it's due for a huge pop, like you guys seen on my weekly chart. I rarely play Tesla. I don't have a lot of success with it, but the last 4 times I played it, I won on it. So I'm going to start watching it more again. I used to love how it moved, and then it just got wonky and I didn't like it anymore. But let's see if we can get that back. BNTX, nice end of the day. Big gap down at the beginning of the day, but then we came right back, closed at 375. Next level up, like I told you guys yesterday, over 370, we need to get over 385. If we close over 385, the next stop is 400. So 385 is what I'm looking for tomorrow. Let's see if we can get over it and hold above it. AMC just held the pre-market lows all day. We never broke below it. We never broke above it. You know what I mean? This is a pre-market high. This is yesterday's aftermarket low. Just held between there. Seen huge AMC call flow today, which made me confident that this has one more run in it. Let's see if we get it tomorrow. This is healthy consolidation. After a 20% day yesterday, it's the same thing as PDD. PDD looks healthier than this because there's no upper wick on today's day. But other than that, it looks exactly like PDD. Huge day, consolidation. Do we rip through and get through today's high? Today's high of 47.13 we need to break. 47.13 was the pre-market high, and that's what I need to see break tomorrow for continuation. Amazon closed below 3,300 again, off my screen, don't care for it. If you made money on these little 3-day bounce, congratulations, it's not my kind of trade. I'll wait for confirmation. When it closes above 3,300, then I'll take it for a run to 33.88. PFE just been dumping on this, all this good news, it's just been dumping. Today hit the 21-day almost. 21-day was at 46.78. Today's low was 46.93, so close enough to the 21-day. Let's see if we get a bounce now. The reason PFE is down is not because of its sell the news. The reason PFE is down is because they way overpaid for Trillium, that cancer research company. So right now, let's see. That's why I have November calls. I'm going to wait to see if this bounce is confirmed, and then I'll add to my November calls. As I told you guys, I took a starter position only. If this goes into weekly consolidation, we can go all the way down to $45 flat, which is an 8-day moving average. And if it's confirmed that it's weekly consolidation, that is where I will add, because it's still a very bullish chart. I'm just looking for a small pullback. And we have lots of time on those November calls. Airbnb, huge day yesterday, today kind of consolidation. You guys noticing a pattern here? When you have a huge, massive 20 or 10% or 15% day, the next day sometimes you just need healthy consolidation. Now, if it consolidated and it lost 50% of the move yesterday, like if it moved down 5% today, that's worrying. If it's like still green or just sideways, that's a very healthy consolidation on these stocks. So same thing on Airbnb, same thing on AMC, same thing on PDD, same thing on Baba. I see a lot of people crying, oh, it's not going, it's not going. Sometimes you just need healthy consolidation, man. And if Airbnb comes down and retests this 154.50 level, I will jump back in long calls. Alibaba, same exact thing. Huge days, huge couple of days actually. Today, just a little consolidation here. No big deal. Still a hammer candle on the daily, which is very bullish. We did not fill this gap. So let's see tomorrow. We must hold today's low and make our ways towards tomorrow's high, just because we have a huge gap here on Baba. So that's why Baba's a little bit different than everything else. Because look, it opened within the gap here, and then it closed with a hammer out of the gap, but we want to stay out of that gap there. AMC never had a gap, did all its work during the day. PDD has a gap, but it's way down here. We never even got close to it today. And let's move on. So Baba had that huge gap. Just want to avoid that gap and make its way up to today's highs. CrowdStrike is actually such a good setup. Same thing, CrowdStrike, huge day yesterday, 8% day, right, on a huge, big market cap company. We're right at this big supply zone. So this is big resistance between 269.50, 289.69. So what we need to do is we did one part of it today. We closed above the upper trend line, which is 269.50. We closed at 271. No, we closed at 270 flat. So we closed at 270. Tomorrow, if we can hold 269.50, this thing can fly, because tomorrow morning this will be listed on the NASDAQ for the first time ever. So keep an eye on CrowdStrike. There might be a massive surge in volume tomorrow, because a lot of hedge funds cannot buy stocks unless they're on an index, unless they're on the Qs or unless they're on SPY or Dow. So just remember that. UPST for Stonkshins here. I agree with their play. I like it. But the thing I don't like is it's very hard to play counter trend, like I told you guys. You might get your move weekly. You're right. Absolutely. I like how you're looking at weekly charts. Like, that's why I called out the play in the first place, was a weekly chart. So you're playing off the weekly chart. let's see what happened. We had this huge consolidation, one big rip up, then the next week we took out the highs, and the next week we went a little bit higher even, and then the next week we went down. So over here, big week up, more up, and then the third week down. So how do you know if it's the third week down this time or the fourth week down this time? If you're wrong, then you're going to lose a lot of premium in those puts by next week, even if you're right. So just be careful in these. Don't get too excited. But looks good. I mean, it closed right at the low of the day. That's weak. Let's see how much bear volume we had today. Very, very low selling volume here. That's what I don't like. So this pattern right here, again, it's called VCP. This is by this guy named Mark Minervini. I don't know if you guys have read his books, but his favorite pattern is when volume starts contract and people start forgetting about the stock. Where did my trends? Trading View is so screwed, man.
Yeah, trading is trash.
So that's what I mean. Even if you took 2 weeks out, if this thing explodes higher, you're gonna lose all the premium on your puts even by next week. But just keep watching them. You might be right. You might get your move. Right now, volume is contracting. This is called VCP pattern, volume contractility pattern. And when this happens, it means it's due for a big move. It's either gonna explode with volume up or it's gonna explode down with volume down. So just keep an eye on it. Play it safe. Don't get too excited, like I said. Let's see how it ends up. It looks like you could get a pullback to the 8-day moving average, though. It is a little far away. And the 21-day is far away. So I hope you guys get your move and get paid. But again, at all-time highs, very, very hard short. It's like stepping in front of a runaway train. So good luck with that. Your best hope is if a market pulls back. If a market pulls back, then I'll take UPST with it and you'll get paid. CRM had earnings after the close. I just wanted to see if they came out. Looks like we gapped up, but we're giving a lot of it back, I think. Why is there red candles if it's gapping us? Trading View's so screwed, man. So CRM looks like it's gapping up. I'll go over the earnings and I'll send them in the group later on today. Tilray, the reason I jumped in is the whole group was in. T and Ricky liked the setup. Everyone's expecting legal marijuana legalization soon. Today I just waited. Yesterday I didn't take it because 3 straight green days. I hate jumping in a trade. Today we got that pullback. 8-day moving average is at 1345. I was watching this chart all freaking day, waiting for it to come down to the 8-day moving average of 1345. I had a line drawn there, everything. We got down here, and I was like, screw it, I'll jump in. Why did I jump in? We were oversold on RSI. Stochastics were way under. So I just jumped in for 47 cents. Mine are already green. And let's see what happens. Hopefully we get weed legalization within the next 2 weeks. If we get that, it's going to be a huge, huge winner. Let's see so CRM went up and now it's losing some gains after market, and Snow went up and it lost all the gains after market. So your comment didn't last too long, Sean G. I will go over the earnings and send them to you guys either tonight or in the morning. Thank you guys for attending. I'll see you all in the morning.